Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, video, we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Hawks, because I feel like they're not doing good. They're not doing good right now. They're kind of stuck in like this mediocrity, even below mediocrity. And just talking about what they can do to fix it. Like, what should they do throughout the rest of the year, because it's not looking good right now in Atlanta. We're going to talk all about that here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Links to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, I don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the Atlanta Hawks currently are 12-19. They are the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're currently on a 4-game losing streak right now. Yeah, things are not looking great in Atlanta. Just spelling out some stats, team stats and stuff. First of all, they have the 5th rated offense in the league. So I mean, they put up points. But defensively, they're not good. They're 27th defense. So they're top 5 offense, bottom 5 defense. They have a worse defense than the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, they have a worse defense than the Detroit Pistons. Their net rating is 21st at negative 0.8. Yeah, just this team is very polarizing. Offensively, I mean, they're 3rd in scoring. They average almost 122 points per game. They take the most amount of field goal attempts per game. They're 5th in field goal makes, field goal percentage. They're 18th, so they take a lot of shots. They're okay at making them. 3-pointers, they're top 5 in 3-point attempts, top 10 in 3-pointers made. The 3-point percentage is 13, so that's not bad. Free throw, they're just outside the top 10 in free throw attempts. They're 5th in free throws made. They're 3rd in free throw percentage. Rebounding, they're not bad. They're 12th rebounding, especially they're a really good offensive rebounding team. They're tied for 2nd when it comes to rebounding. Assists, they're 17th. Turnovers, they're 16th, so they're average in turnovers. Steals, they're 6th. Don't get a lot of blocks. They're 23rd in blocks. This team just is not is good offensive. Look, on paper, it looks like this is a good offensive team. But defensively, they're not good at all. They're 29th in opponent field goal percentage. Only the Pacers let teams shoot better. Hawks let teams shoot 50% from the field on them. Teams, they're 23rd in opponent field goals attempted, 28th in opponent field goals made, so meaning they give up a lot of shots. 3-pointers, they're about average. They're 15th at the opponent 3-point attempts, so they'll average at giving up the 3. The teams are shooting 38.2%, bottom 5. So they're average at giving up 3s, but teams are making 3s on them. And then with free throws, they're about average too. They're about 13th in opponent free throws attempted. But then they also give up a lot. I said they're a good offensive rebounding team, yet they also give up a lot of rebounds, offensive rebounds as well. So they're like top 3 in opponent and offensive rebounds per game. They're also bottom 3 in opponent offensive rebounds. So that kind of cancels out, And they're also bottom 3 in opponent assists. They give up 28 assists per game. So yeah, they do that. They also have a lot of turnovers. They allow they force a lot of turnovers. Force 15 turnovers per game, so that's good. But if they're not forcing turnovers, they're not really stopping anybody. They give up 122 points per game. They're bottom 5 in giving up points per game. So yeah, offensively, on paper, look good. Defensively, not good. They force turnovers. They have 5 players averaging a steal per game. But if they're not getting steals, they're not really stopping anybody else. But the thing is, usually teams like that are kind of like the Pacers. The Pacers are amazing offense, a horrible defense, yet they're still kind of average and can win games because of their offense. But for the Hawks, it's something different. They should have a high-powered offense in their defense. Even though their defense kind of sucks, they should have a high-powered offense. All the stats prove it. But it hasn't been that. Yeah, they're 12-19. They've lost 4 in a row. Why haven't they been like the Pacers, where they're just about average, have some good moments, have some bad stretches? It's not looking great. Trae Young is actually having a good year. He had a very bad start, and we were like, oh man, like what's going on with Trae Young? He's starting to step up. He's averaging 28 points, 11 assists. He's shooting 43% from the field, 38% from 3. He's shooting the ball well. Bogdan Bogdanovic is having a great season, averaging 17 points, shooting 38% from 3. He's lining it up. After that, it's just kind of DeJounte Murray. He's averaging 24 and 5 with a steal, shooting 45% from the field, 38% from 3. DeAndre Hunter is having an alright year, shooting 40% from three, but he is injured now. So that's the thing. Jalen Johnson has been one of the best players for the Hawks this season. He just came back from injury, and I don't think they've won a game since he's come back from injury, but he was having a good year. Saddiq Bey's been alright. Clint Capella's been Clint Capella. Yuko Kongwu has done some things here and there. After that, they haven't really had anything else really to show for. And this team is just kind of, I don't know. That's the thing about this team is like there's problems. They need to fix these problems, but I don't know specifically what their problem is. You know, like it's not just they're bad defensively. I mean, obviously they can get better, but even so, their offense isn't so overpowering where it can just like take away the defense. You know, and they have defenders like DeJounte Murray is an all defensive type player. DeAndre Hunter, Saddiq Bey, Jalen Johnson, those are all pretty solid defenders. Clint Capella, Yuko Kongwu is a good defender. So they have the personnel to be a decent defense, not a top 5 defense, but like a good enough defensive team. You know, but it's just not like that. But also this offense is not perfect. It's not great. You know, I feel like a lot of their offense is Trae Young's turn, DeJounte Murray's turn, everyone else just stand in the corner and wait. You know, wait for a lob or wait for a corner shot. That's what this offense is right now. And there's been offense like Dallas basically runs that offense. Luka Doncic, and just have a bunch of guys waiting around for Luka. You know, but talents like Luka, that's something you could do with Luka because he's like an insane basketball player where he can do so many different things that, you know, can lead your team to win. I'm not saying Trae Young can't do that. Obviously, we've seen it before. They went all the way to the conference finals with that offense. But the thing about it is, like, it's different because they have DeJounte Murray, they have Bogdanovich. They have just different personnel than Dallas. But also, it's like, I feel like the DeJounte Murray thing is not working. They went out a few years ago, made the move for DeJounte, which I don't mind them doing. You know, that is a move that you probably make just because you win the conference finals, and the year after you like really fell down. So you're like, all right, we weren't there. You know, we need to make a move to kind of get back there. And DeJounte Murray, he's an all-star type of player, just came off a career year, was having. And you're like, you know what? Why not try this? You know, DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, see if we can do the 2-guard thing. You know, so alleviate some pressure off of Trae Young, have another ball handler, another guy that can do it. And it hasn't worked, really. It hasn't been great, you know. I feel like DeJounte Murray, I feel like they're still kind of trying to figure out how to play together. And I don't know, it feels like sometimes they don't really actually play together. Like, sometimes I feel like it's just Trae Young on top of the key, DeJounte Murray just standing on the wing waiting for his turn. And then DeJounte Murray has it, and then Trae Young's just standing on the other wing waiting for his turn. Like, there's no, like, continuity. There's no, like, they're playing off each other or anything. It's just kind of like waiting. It's like, all right, Trae, come out and do his thing for a couple possessions. Like, all right, DeJounte, you got it now. You do your thing for a couple possessions. You know? And they also have Bogdanovich, who is another guy that needs the ball in his hand, but he can also be a great catch-and-shoot guy. He's been killing it this year. And then after that, a lot of the other guys that can't dribble, like DeAndre Hunter, Saddiq Bey, I don't want them dribbling the ball. Clint Capella, Yuko Kongwu, absolutely not. Jalen Johnson can dribble in transition, and he's kind of got like some point forward, maybe it's tendencies. But at the end of the day, you want Trae Young, DeJounte Murray with the ball. And it's just not working. It's just not working. You know, like the DeJounte Murray thing is not working. I feel like this team just needs Trae Young and just a bunch of 4 guys that are okay with not creating for themselves. You know, it's a tough offense to run. Obviously, it's not the perfect offense you want. You want to run an offense where you can have like a Jokic and a Murray and other guys that can create for themselves. But we've seen now with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young that it just doesn't. It's not working. You know, Trae Young kind of needs his own space to like do his thing, and DeJounte Murray also kind of needs the ball in his hands. Even though he's become a way better 3-point shooter, off ball like can shoot 3-point shooter, he's done that. But it's just like they can't work together. They can't. I don't think they can work together. And the tough thing also that adds into this is that the Hawks signed DeJounte Murray to an extension this offseason. They signed him to a 4-year, $114 million extension this offseason. So it's not like, because when you make the trade a few years ago, you're like, all right, he's got 2 years left in his deal. We got 2 years maybe, or a year and a half to really work this out. And if things don't work out, then maybe we could just trade him for something else, even though we did get a couple first-round picks for him. But after year 1, they doubled down and said, no, DeJounte is our guy. We think he can make it work. We're going to give him a 4-year extension. And we're shown, coming into this year, we've shown it's not working. And so now we're stuck kind of in this hole where DeJounte Murray can get traded. He's not like he's on a $40 million contract a year or anything like that. But it's just really tough that we just gave this guy a 4-year extension. We gave up a couple first-round picks for him. We gave up, I have the trade right here. We gave up, what, 3 first-round? We gave up a 2023 first, 2025 first, a 2027 first, and a pick swap. We gave up 4 first-round picks dang near for him. And he's going to be gone in a year and a half. Like, it just, you missed. You missed on it. And now DeJounte's contract looks like this. So this is last year of his extension. Next year the extension kicks in. He's gonna get 24 next year, 26 the year after, 28 the year after, and then last year he has a $30 million player option, and then he'll be an unrestricted free agent at 32 years old. So, I mean, it's not a crazy contract. It's not like he's getting 35, 38, 40. It's not like that. You know, so it's a tradable contract, and teams will definitely take it because DeJounte Murray is a really good player. But it's just tough for the Hawks because we basically said put all our chips in the middle of the table, and we folded. You know, it bust. It didn't work. So now we might have to trade DeJounte Murray. DeAndre Hunter, we gave him an extension as well. He's showing some things. I like DeAndre Hunter, but it might be time to trade him because he gets injured a lot. He's injury prone, you know, and he just maybe isn't the type of player you would thought he was going to be maybe in Atlanta. Maybe it's just time for John Collins, time for a scenery change for him. Clint Capella, he's good still, but he's getting a little old. Maybe get rid of him. Yeah, let Onyeka Okongwu maybe take that role. Keep Jalen Johnson around. You keep Jalen Johnson around, Saddiq Bey, fine. But that might be the moves for the Hawks, but I don't really know what the correct thing for the Hawks to do is. You know, because of course, a few years ago, you went to the conference finals. Things were looking great. You were 2 wins away from an NBA Finals appearance, which, looking back at it now, is insane to think about that this team was 2 wins away from an NBA Finals. And then after that, you had that year of success that maybe was just like a false sense of maybe we can be good. Maybe it was just a year where you guys got lucky. You know, you played the Knicks in the first round, got rid of them. The Sixers, you somehow beat them in 7 because Ben Simmons didn't want to shoot the ball anymore, and Joel Embiid also didn't have a good series and all that. You go to the conference finals against the Bucks, and Giannis gets hurt. You know, you almost get there. Trae Young gets hurt. It kind of was like, looking back at it now, that was the year of just, they got lucky. You know, and you need luck. You need luck to win in sports and stuff like that. So I'm not saying this as a thing to discredit the Hawks. You know, I mean, they had to play, go out there and do it, and play and get there, you know. But it's just like, look at it now. That was the year where you got lucky. And this team, we see now that this team was never good enough to be there. This team is not good enough. Yet, because they made it to the conference finals that 1 year, this front office and everything is putting all the chips on the table saying, oh, we made it there, then we can be there. You know, we got to do everything in our power to make it back there again, which means probably sacrificing some picks with DeJounte Murray, sacrificing some young player development and guys like John Collins, DeAndre Hunter. We kind of made him trying to force him into making him a 3-and-D guy. You know, Jalen Johnson, forcing Onyeka Okongwu still is on the bench. You know, Clint Capella is still here because he was on the team that made it to the conference finals, so we're sacrificing some young development. AJ Griffin isn't playing in the rotation, which I think is bad because I think he's a good player. Sacrifice him some picks, sacrifice him some young player development, and all that just to make it back to that road of conference finals, when realistically this team just doesn't have it. This team is just not good enough, you know. And what do you really do from here? Guess you got to trade some players. You got to make some moves around because if you keep this team going for the rest of the year, at the best, probably a 9-8 seed. They might sneak into the playoffs again. Might sneak a game off Boston again. But, do you really want to sacrifice all that for another year of another first-round exit? After that conference finals appearance, that's 3 years in a row. First-round exit. Lost to Miami. Last year, lost to Boston, even though it was a more competitive series than I thought. This year, you can do it again. Even if you make it there, because even then, you're going to have to go up against a Brooklyn. You're going to have to go up against an Indiana in a play-in. or something like that, and that's not an easy win, especially for you guys' defense. That's not an easy win. So it's like, what do you really do? Do you maybe throw around the idea of trading Trae and restarting it from the bottom? I don't know if I would do it, but it's something you could definitely have to think about. You know, and Trae Young is a fabulous player, especially this year. He's been putting on insane numbers. He's shown by himself he's a top 5 offense by himself. You know, 28 and 11. Like, that's not something you could just find anywhere, you know? But maybe, you know, throw it around a little bit. Try to see maybe what's out there. Maybe there's something great out there. Maybe, you know, you start from the bottom over. Just a thought. Not saying you should do it. Just a thought to put in the minds. Maybe. But after that, probably trading DeJounte Murray. I would like to see DeJounte Murray on a new team. Whether it's this year, this offseason or something. Probably want to see DeJounte somewhere else, because the trade DeJounte thing just didn't work. You know? And after that, I think after Trae Young and maybe Jalen Johnson, honestly, I wouldn't mind just a fire sale. And Onyeka Okongwu as well. Keep him around just to see what you have, because he hasn't really played for a lot of minutes yet. Just see what you got. See what's out there. DeJounte, Bogdan, DeAndre Hunter, even maybe Saddiq Bey, Clint Capella. You know, just maybe float around the market. You know, see what you can get for those guys. Because I'm sure a lot of teams will be calling about a Bogdan Bogdanovic. I'm sure a lot of teams will be calling about Clint Capella, a team that needs some center play. I'm sure a team would love to have Saddiq Bey around. Even though I don't know what they feel about Saddiq Bey, but I'm sure a team would love to have Saddiq Bey out there that could just fire whenever he wants to from the corner. You know? DeJounte Murray, I'm sure a team in LA would love to have another guy like him around. You know? So, yeah. They're just stuck in this kind of weird spot where there should be better. Like, I was a believer in the Hawks coming to the season. Like, if you go back to my Eastern Conference prediction video before the season started, I think I had the Hawks like top 5 in the East. Which looking at it now is like, oh man, that's a huge miss from my part. But I don't know, like, you look at this roster and it's hard not to convince yourself that this could be a good team. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, all-star level players. DeAndre Hunter, Saddiq Bey, those are good two-way wings that can shoot, defend a little bit. Bogdan Bogdanovic is a firecracker off the bench. Clint Capella is a good solid center. Jalen Johnson maybe could have this jump, which I predicted Jalen Johnson would have this jump, and now he's having it. Onyeka Okongwu, got guys like maybe AJ Griffin, Wesley Matthews, a decent vet. Garrison Matthews could shoot. Like, you look at this team, it's hard not to convince yourself, like, okay, maybe this team can be something. Not a contender, but maybe this team could be, you know, a 5-6 seed that maybe could give a top team a run for its money, you know? But look at it now, and this team might not even make the play-in. It's not looking good. So what do you do if you're the Hawks? Trade, I guess. Blow it up. Trade some players around and just try to, you know, restart this thing. Not saying restart it completely, restart it, unless you want to. You know, unless you want to trade Trae Young and restart everything. But, you know, just trade some pieces off. Get some young assets, get some young players, some picks and stuff like that, and try to build a better team around Trae Young, I guess, is what you do. But yeah, this Hawks team, very disappointing, you know, coming to this year. Not a very good team. And yeah, just waiting to see what this team does at the trade deadline, if they do sell, or if they just have a false sense of hope that maybe last year, because last year was kind of similar to this, where they started off bad, then they kind of got better a little bit, and somehow they made the playoffs and made the play-in and made the playoffs. So maybe they say they could do it again this year. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, so stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.